Hey y'all. I hope you guys are having a wonderful evening. As you can see, we have a special guest. Okay, we have a special guest. She is no stranger to this channel. Y'all know I love me some Blunt Girly. If you guys didn't know, this is the good sis. Um, and I'm just gonna actually let the good sis introduce herself. I'm sure a lot of you already know the good sis, but you can go in and tell them about your channel and what they can expect over on your side of the YouTube streets. Wait, hold on one second. Um, no, you guys are saying you guys can't hear? Hold on. Hold on. Okay. Justin wasn't here to to help me set this up. Okay, I am so sorry. Give me one moment. Let me see. You guys can hear. I'm glad we caught that right away because that would have been tragic.
Tragic.
Um,
Um,
say
Say
something
something
now. Can
now.
you
Can
guys
you
hear
guys
her
hear her
now?
now?
Hello? Oh, I'm good. I think I'm good.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's
So
see.
you
So you
guys can
guys
hear
can hear
now.
now?
Uh,
Uh,
you guys can hear. I'm glad we caught that right away because that would have
let's
been
see.
tragic. Um,
Can you hear me?
how
Hello?
How
about
about
now?
now?
How about
How
now?
about
Are you
now? Are
guys
you
able
guys
to hear
able to hear
now?
now?
Or is
Or
it
is it
still?
still? Ooh,
Hold
hold
on.
on.
Can you say
Can you say
something for
something for
me?
me?
Oh, hello? Can you hear?
Okay.
Okay, so
Hello?
it should be coming through because I'm seeing the little I don't even know what you call it. The little thing where it still shows like the green, the yellow, and then the red for like your audio. I see it doing
Yeah.
this when you speak. So it should be okay. Okay,
Can you
how about
hear
now?
me?
Are you guys still hearing an echo? Um there shouldn't be an echo now, but let me know if you guys are hearing an echo. Okay, it's
Hello?
perfect now. Okay. Okay, girl math, we figured it out. All right. We figured it out. All right, y'all. Y'all so silly talking about women in tech. Yeah, we might struggle, but
Wow.
we get there. Okay. We take our time, but we get there, you guys. So all right, so let's just restart. Okay, let's restart. You guys already know the good sis Blunt Girly. She is a regular over here. We love her channel. But I would love for Blunt Girly to kind of introduce herself if you guys are new and haven't seen her content before. So this will just be like a introduction into the mind of Blunt Girly.
Um, okay. I'm good, right? Okay. Okay. Um, Thank you. Basically, yeah, hey everybody. I really like the atmosphere and the vibes on Sandra's channel. Everyone always is just so like sweet and loving towards me. So I'm very excited to do this live stream. But basically, I guess I don't even know how to describe my channel. It's just me giving my basically like my brutally honest thoughts. I got the name Blunt Girly from other people because they thought that I was like pretty blunt on social media. So I just came up with that by myself. But yeah, I talk about all types of stuff like celebrity gossip, weight loss, just like random things. It's just a little bit, it's very free spirited on my channel. So yeah, I don't know how to describe my channel. I don't know if you have better words, but yeah.
I guess like the vibe that I get from your channel is talking a lot about different lifestyle. So a lot of it connects to lifestyle, even when you're talking about like the celebrity
Yeah.
gossip, it still ties back to lifestyle, life choices.
and then giving a lot of advice on how to better yourself, how to be the best version of you, right?
Yeah,
So giving
exactly,
like little
exactly.
tips and tricks and insight. I think that your channel has a lot of insight. So absolutely love her channel. Y'all, I'm gonna just glaze you for a little bit. Pause.
Oh.
Um, when I first started watching your channel, I told you, I think I told you last time, I heard about you from Colleen Marie. So when I was doing ADF, I remember I was listening to one of her videos during my fast days, and she had mentioned your channel, and I was like, she had said something like, if I could make content like this, I would, and I would make content
Oh,
like Blunt Girly. That's what she said. And so I was like, okay, let me look into it. Let me look. So I had typed your name into the YouTube, and I subscribed. And then because I didn't have a chance to look at your channel right then and there, so I subscribed so that your videos would start popping up for me. And I just went on a whole binging streak. Like I
really?
was watching, girl, I probably watched like 5-6 videos per day. I was just sitting there just all in, just
That's
listening to the content.
crazy.
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
that's so
like
sweet.
that's how you know you're good, because my like bar is it's kind of high. I'm not gonna lie. I will fast forward through people's videos in a heartbeat. Like that the little playback speed, man. I would turn that up in a heartbeat. But I don't do that for your videos, because your cadence is good, and then also the conversation is really good. And I think that there are a lot of things that I've heard you talk about, and I was like, wow, I didn't really think of it like that. I hadn't thought about it like that. So that's what I really appreciate. I appreciate the perspective, especially when we're able to look at different situations, and you might see one corner of it, I might see another corner of it. And listening to that content, it helps you get a more well-rounded understanding of
Hmm.
different things that are happening. So I really appreciate that you have your channel, and I'm gonna watch your new video right after the stream. Just
Oh,
we dropped the video today, so after the stream, go over to the channel and check and check her out. All right.
oh, thank you. I'm like blushing right now. I'm cheesy. I appreciate the support. Oh.
Definitely. I love, and this is what the sisterhood is supposed to be, right? Uplifting each other, but not, off of some BS, like genuine uplifting people. But let's go ahead and get into the topic, because I know that's what
Okay,
everybody's
okay.
here to hear about. So I want to hear from you. So how would you describe the sisterhood, from based on maybe even your experiences or what you've been seeing online? How would you describe this idea of the sisterhood?
Oh, well, I guess like from what I see online, the online version of the sisterhood is basically, I would say it's a bunch of just walking on eggshells, trying to just kind of stay on code with each other. And yeah, that's the best way I would describe it. How about
Yeah, that
you?
definitely makes sense. Yeah, that definitely makes sense, because it's like when women, it's I don't even know who's setting the rules for a lot of this. Right now they're on a man bad kick. A few years ago it was, I want to get a provider man and I'm doing
Yes.
all the things. And probably before that it was something else, boss
Switch
chick.
my
I don't know.
perk.
They switch up what the what the overall mission statement is of the sisterhood every couple of years. So for me, it's like I agree with you as far as like walking on eggshells, because you'll have women who are a part of the sisterhood. They say something that is not part of the new mission. They're still stuck on the old mission statement, and they just attack. They attack. So I definitely get the eggshells part. I also think that an aspect of the sisterhood is an us versus them mentality when it comes to men. So even when they were talking about wanting to get provider men and you got to do all this, it was still in a manipulative way,
Hmm.
um, where it's like we're combatants, with our opposite sex, even though we're heterosexuals, we're combatants with them. How do we trick them into giving us what we want? I said that all messed up. Into them giving us what we want. And so I think it's a combination of women, walking on eggshells with each other, but then also having that combative nature with our counterparts, the men. Okay, the men that are opposite of us.
Yeah, basically, you described it pretty good from my perspective.
Yeah, so let's start off with some of the good things. Okay, so are there any like pros that you see to the sisterhood? Because I hate to ever throw the baby out with the bathwater. I say that a lot on my channel. I always try to get the good and the bad and try to understand it rather than just say all bad, all bad. So are there any positives that you've noticed from this idea of a sisterhood?
Wait, okay, so I have to think about that one. That's a great question. It's kind of hard.
Yeah, and y'all in the chat, let us know too. We want to hear you guys' perspective as well. So, as we're kind of talking about these things, you guys can type in the chat. I will read a lot of different comments throughout this entire live stream. So if you have something to add to the conversation, by all means, let us know in the chat. Okay, y'all are clever. Okay, y'all are clever. Rome King says sisterhood memo, men bad. That's
Oh
the
my
one memo
goodness.
that stays the same. It's like the header. It's like the header of all the emails that they send, men bad, and then underneath they'll detail how men are bad this year. Okay, it'll be a little bit different from last year. Let's see. P. Lizzie, you said draining to be around them. I also feel like the us versus them bleeds over to women who call out others on their delusion. Yes, that is so true. That's so true, Lizzie. They're quick to say, they are so quick to say, you're a pick me, you're male identified, you're male centered. As soon as you say something that is off code, okay, off the sister code, then here go those insults. So, if we want to get to like some of the positives, if you have to think about it, then we can kind of continue going through the conversation, and if something comes to mind, then you can just let us know how you feel about it. As far as like anything positive, it's very hard because a lot of it is negative.
I know. Wait, I thought about like a few things. I can share it if you want me to.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, like I feel like sometimes the intentions may be kind of good. Like it's good. I guess their whole thing is don't base your whole self-esteem on other people because sometimes that can get toxic, but it's like when they do have a good idea, it gets lost in the hatred of it all. So it's hard for me to say there's like any good parts of the online sisterhood because it always becomes, it's like they'll have a good idea and good intentions, but then their hatred for men kind of overpowers, and it just becomes overall like pretty like a hate movement kind of. So yeah.
Yeah, no,
I hope
I
that
agree
makes sense.
1000%. No, you absolutely make sense because it reminds me of the whole decenter men thing,
Yeah.
right? The whole idea of censoring yourself and worrying about like the things that bring you joy and finding more out of life rather than like, oh, I need a man, or well, they a lot of them do the I hate a man, I hate men, I need to get away from men. They're very aversive to men, and that's obsessive as well. But the general idea of like focusing your joy, doing things that you love, that I think is positive, because
Yeah.
if you are constantly basing everything off of other people, what's going to happen is you're going to end up resenting them because they're probably not doing that for you because it's unhealthy. unless you're in a really toxic relationship where both people are, engaging in that kind of codependent type of relationship with one another, you're going to run into a situation where you're giving all this energy hyper focused, and when the person isn't reciprocating it because what you're doing is unhealthy in the first place, so of course they're not going to do it, then you start to be resentful and looking at them like, well, why aren't you doing this for me? Well, why aren't, because you shouldn't even been doing that. You shouldn't even be doing that for me. This is very toxic. Yeah. So I definitely see where you're coming from with that, where they'll take something good and then their hatred, they'll look at it through the goggles of I hate men, and it just
Yeah.
bastardizes.
I wanted to say something about that. You said it perfectly. It's like they speak of it from a hating point of view. I wish sometimes they could use these concepts in a loving way. Like, why does it have to be back? Like, okay, decent for men, right? Why does it have to be backed up with hatred? Like, you know, I guess somebody that's coming to mind that talks about decenter men a lot, it's like, again, well, it kind of always has been kind of hateful to me. I don't know. I'm kind of sensitive, so I've always picked up on the hatred. But after a while, it started growing and growing, and it just became this like bashing session. And it's like, wait a minute, hold on. Yeah, the opposite sex is sometimes frustrating, of course, but I don't hate them. Like, I'm still straight. Like, so I like the whole, like, ladies have hobbies, focus on, yourself, put yourself first. Sometimes I love that, but I wish it could be mixed with also like catering to men. It's just so like unbalanced, basically.
Yeah, absolutely. And see, this is a problem that I see with pretty much everything. There's always a major overcorrection, right? So if we look at times of old where women were basically just seen, not really heard, you didn't really have any ambitions outside of just being in the house. So while there are positives to, being a homemaker, and I love being a homemaker, so don't take this as
Yeah.
me dissing a homemade. I love a good homemaking session. Look, I got my I got my KitchenAid in the kitchen right now, ready to use her. So I love me some homemaking. But when it's so restrictive to the point where, you're not able to have any ambition outside of just, having the kids, having the house, taking care of everybody, very, very selfless. And it's beautiful to be selfless, but at the same time, you got to kind of pour into yourself a little bit. So we have this overcorrection where it's like we could just have a healthy balance of taking time for yourself, doing some of the things that you love while also being in service to your family. But they take it to the extreme to overcorrect it. So now it's, well, I don't want a family at all. I'm not taking care of
It's
anybody.
too much.
It really is. It's just one extreme to the next. Nobody wants to just chill in the middle where it's a little bit of this and a little bit of that. It's like, no, I have to go all the way. Like, no, I have to go. And you see that with so many different things. Overcorrection. Whenever you see a problem with something, people tend to just overcorrect the mess out of it.
Yeah, see, I feel like now that I'm thinking about it with my channel, I think like all of my videos combined, it's very balanced because there's a portion of my channel where I tell women to like put effort into yourself, lose weight, like invest in yourself. But then there's another portion where I'm saying do the same thing, like, put your partner first. Like, I don't know, I feel like I'm very balanced. I just thought about that.
Yeah, I do love that about your
It's not
channel because
selfish.
exactly. People feel like they can't walk and chew gum. It's like
Yeah.
either I'm taking care of myself or I'm taking care of you. And it's like, no, I can allocate some time to take care of my family and then also allocate some time to take care of myself. And when you're with the right man,
Yes.
he's going to want you to take care of yourself, right? He's going to want you to take some time to, put yourself together, take some time to relax. I know, Justin If I tell Justin I need a few moments to myself, he will wrangle those kids and give me the time that I need. And, it's
That's
vice
sweet.
versa. When he needs to rest, I take them kids and I get them out of his hair. So, it doesn't have to be this thing where it's like either you're all in service or
Selfish.
all selfish. Like it's such an extreme.
Yeah, I would say, yeah, I mean, I am a homemaker too, but again, like I also pour into myself and I pour into my home and my partner. Like I have a lot of love to give for everyone. I'm not A lot of single women in the sisterhood are just very selfish. Everything is so selfish. Like, dang. I don't see
Yeah,
how they do it.
I don't see how they do it either. Like even just as a child, I was never selfish. I was always ready to share my crackers with
That's funny.
whoever whoever needed them. So yeah, I don't know why, people are operating in such a selfish standpoint, especially since I genuinely believe that that's not the nature, the natural nature of being a woman. I don't think
No.
that that is our natural state of being. And the reason why I say that is because having gone through, the pregnancies and postpartum, and it's like I feel my body just want to take care of others, wanting to take care of my children, wanting to take care of my man. Like my brain is always just going in a circle about all the things I need to do for my loved ones. And it just never stops. And it's like, I feel like that is the natural way, we're wired is to do that. So I honestly think a lot of the selfishness is, counter to our nature. Some may disagree with that though.
Yeah, it is. And that's why I think a lot of the women nowadays are just very broken. That's why it's so it just seems so like, how do you do it? Like, I think they're able to be selfish because they're broken and traumatized.
That makes sense. That definitely makes sense. One of the things that I've been thinking about is I feel like a lot of, and this isn't even just with the girls but also the boys too. I think that a lot of kids, they grow up with parents that don't pour into them, because when you're a child you're supposed to come first every single time. When you're the child, you should be put on that pedestal and come first. So when you go through childhood and you're not put first, okay, specifically if we talk about, single parent households where maybe the mom is bringing different men throughout the house and your needs are put last, these men that she's bringing in are put first. I think that psychologically that does something to a child. And then as they get older, they haven't gotten that I come first out of their system. So then they look for
Hmm.
that in their relationships. They look for that in their friendships. That's how you end up with these weirdo friends that are obsessed and they feel like you are supposed to give them all your time, just super
Oh my
obsessive with
God.
their girlfriends. And they look for it in their romantic relationships. So that's why they say a lot of women that don't have their fathers, they look for a man to be their father, to give them that, you're going to put me first. You're going to put me first. And like I said, men, I've seen this with men too, where, and this has always creeped me out, where some men online, they'll talk about how, in their marriage, they come before the kids. They
Hmm.
want the wife to put them before the children. And I think that is so weird to me because, and I've talked to Justin about it and I'm like, well, we both agree our kids come before both of us. Like they're the dependents. So, I feel like that also comes from that place of I wasn't put first as a child. So now that I'm an adult, I'm expecting whoever is around me to put me first now.
Hmm. Yeah, I totally see what you're saying. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, no, definitely. But I do want to get into the performative aspect of the sisterhood because I think that's where a lot of the toxicity comes into play. So you know, can you think of a time or even an instance or an example where you've seen this whole sisterhood concept um become performative rather than something that's genuine?
Yeah, that's a great question. I talk about that all over my channel. So I'm really trying to think of like one specific example. Because yeah, I have observed like the performativeness with a lot of those women. Um, okay, yeah. Actually, I wanted to talk about that because I think that again, it's a trend to publicly hate men. And you even see the married women doing this on TikTok. It's like every 5 seconds, there's a married woman coming to the timeline to complain about her husband that she does not plan on divorcing. So for me, it's just like I was gonna talk about that in a video. I feel like that's very performative, and these ladies are doing that because they feel the pressure in the media today of you have to kind of bash men and hate men to fit in with women. You have to do that, or you will get called a pick me and stuff like that. So you even have the married women who, again, I'm gonna say this again, they don't plan on leaving their husbands, but they'll come to the timeline crying about some stupid thing that he did. It's not even that serious, usually. And I feel like that aspect is kind of performative. I give other examples of how the sisterhood is performative on my channel. Just a lot of these ladies are fake. They say one thing online, but then they're living a completely different life behind closed doors. And yeah, they're being the pick me behind closed doors. I feel like women that get called pick me's, they're just women who are more honest with their nature in public and stuff like that.
No, I definitely agree. I definitely
Yeah,
agree. I think there was one content creator, I forget their name, but actually I think I've seen this happen a few times where they'll be pushing this, you should be focused on yourself, this, that, and the third. And then a few months later they pop up married. They got
that's what
their
I'm
man.
saying. They all
I'm
do
like,
that.
I'm like, where was all that F men, men ain't ish, all men are trash? Where was
It's
that?
an act, girl. It's an act. I seen this in a YouTuber. I was flabbergasted, like publicly because it's trending. Like, and this girl, she has no identity. She blows with the wind. If Trad Wives was trending, she's hopping on that wave. And yeah, I seen the two-facedness. Yeah. So I'll just keep it
Yeah.
at that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It to me, the reason why the performative nature of it is so toxic is because you're giving out false information
Mm-hmm.
to others, right? And so it can either be with trying to keep up with the Joneses, right? Just like, like you said, oh, the trend now is to do this, the trend now is to do that. So keeping up with the Joneses when it comes to a perspective, which is fucking weird to me. But it's also performative in the sense of, it and this kind of goes more into that predatory nature where you'll have women that will be surrounded by other women who are not taking care of themselves, right? Let's see, overweight or, not putting on their makeup right, not dressing right, just like a hot mess, okay? Hot mess express. And they will sit there and hype her up. Okay, they will sit there and they will say, "Oh yeah, girl, you're doing you. I see you not dressing for the male gaze." They'll say all of these different things, knowing good and well that girl look a mess. And so, and it's for the purpose of performing within the sisterhood,
Mm-hmm.
because the first thing they'll say in your comment section is, why are you tearing down? If you hold women accountable or if you give constructive criticism, why are you tearing a woman down? And it's just like, well, what's the opposite of that? You want me to hype her up when I know she's looks a mess, when I know that she's operating, or moving in a way that's not going to be conducive for what she wants in life.
Yeah.
So that's another aspect of it that I think is rather predatory.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's again, I think I said that in the beginning. It's like you kind of have to stay on code, walk on eggshells, and not be honest, in order to appease the sisterhood.
Yeah. Yeah. And so and I want to talk about the effects of that on the women who are none the wiser. Okay, the women who are none the wiser. There was this video that I reacted to, I think it was yesterday during the live, where this I don't know the whole setup for this, but it was these two girls and they were sitting right next to each other. One was a little bit chubby, the other was massively overweight. And this guy was talking to them and he was like, "Is this your friend?" And he was like, they were like, "Yeah, yeah, we're friends." "Oh no, you're a terrible friend. You know she's big as hell. You know she need to have her ass in the gym. You know she looks a mess and you're not telling her." And he read her for filth. He was like, "You're doing this." And this goes into the competition aspect of it, and we can definitely get into that. You're not telling her the truth about her weight and how she's putting herself together because you want to look good standing next to her. And so it's performative in the aspect of you're, lying to this person to make them feel better about how they look, or to, keep that sisterhood vibe going, even if that's not how you truly feel. And then it's also competitive because there are so many women that will surround themselves with other women that they feel as though are unattractive, or they're outpacing them in some way, shape, or form, and they will stand next to them just so that they look better. Like,
That's interesting.
have you heard of women doing that?
Yes, yeah. But I also feel like just the culture of being brutally honest, it's not common amongst women because women are emotional. They're gonna get mad. I feel like that culture is more common amongst men. I feel like more men are just like honest with each other, like, "Hey, you're fat." Like that's something men tell each other. Women,
Yeah.
we are not socialized to tell each other the truth. That's why the ones that do, like me and you, we kind of might experience, like, getting ostracized. And again, they have names lined up for us that they'll call us. So it's not always easy, being honest with your friend.
That's true. That's true. And, I think that, like I said, everyone always goes to these extremes. Being honest doesn't necessarily mean, "Girl, you're a fat ass." Like, it doesn't have to
Yeah.
be that. Like, you don't have to be like, "Girl, you look a fucking mess." Like, it doesn't have to be that. It could be very subtle. Like, "Hey, I'm going to the gym. You want to come with me?"
Mm,
Um, you
okay.
know, have you tried this? If you have like a healthy meal that you like to eat, have you tried this? And then making it for them. There are different things that you can do. And even just saying it with a gentle touch, like, "Look, I feel like you're not taking as good of care of yourself, and I'm worried about you." Because you could lean more on the health side of it, because it's not always just about the aesthetic of being thin. It's also the health aspect of it. When you're so big, that's putting a lot of pressure on your organs. So even just approaching it from the aspect of, "I care about you. I don't want you to die at a young age from diabetes, or high cholesterol, or cardiac arrest, or whatever diseases you can get because of being overweight." There's so many different avenues to approach it that are still friendly without being, you know, just harsh or cruel, or almost like you're making fun of them. But even doing that, like, people just think it's one or the other. Either I just hype you up and don't say anything, or I just tear you down and make you feel like less of a woman. Where it's like, no, there's a nice happy medium where we can have these conversations and be honest.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
what's also is very interesting. So I lived in China for a few years, And I think it's also cultural with Americans. So I think that the whole sisterhood concept, it's also based on the culture of America, because Americans, we're taught to be very polite. We're
Mm-hmm.
not taught to, they tell us, I don't know, did you hear this growing up? If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. That's our culture.
Yeah, so I feel like it's part of American culture to be polite. Whereas when I was living over there in China, I think I've told you the story before, or maybe I said it, I don't know. I know I've said this before. I remember I was working at the training center and I maybe put on 5 pounds, maybe 7, 5 to 7 pounds. And my coworker, older Chinese lady, she pulls me off to the side. She was like, Sandra, what's wrong with you? You're getting fat.
Oh my
I was like,
God.
oh, okay. in their
Crazy.
culture, in their culture, they will tell you straight up what it is. They keep each other in line. They tell each other the truth. They do not hold back. They will, in a heartbeat, tell you, "What are you okay?" I will ask you, "Are you okay? Uh, you look like you eat a little too much. You getting fat." And that's
And
why a lot of them women are skinny.
well, I was gonna say that's why China they're dominating in statistics. Like they do the best. They perform the best in most categories. Statistic wise. That's why.
Yeah. Because that performative nature of, I'm just not going to say anything because it might be perceived as mean. It really does hold us back from reaching our full potential, because
Yeah.
I think that, you know, criticism, that's how you grow. How else are you supposed to know what to do better, what you need to do better, if nobody is giving you feedback on what can be better? Now there's some
Hmm.
things we can probably figure out on our own, but for a lot of people, they're blind to it. So this overly polite society that we have, it's not conducive to like growth. Um but I did want to dive a little bit deeper into, how women use this idea of the sisterhood to
Hmm.
compete with one another for a mate. So I think we kind of touched on this just ever so slightly with the different YouTubers or influencers that we see, where they'll talk all this stuff about men ain't ish, men ain't that, but then whole time they're getting married behind the scenes. Is there an aspect of it, them saying all that men ain't ish, is there an aspect of it that is competitive?
Yes. Yeah, I'm ready to talk about this actually. I kind of do see this with older women. Not all of them. I feel like there are some disingenuous ones. And, I think that it is an issue when a woman is older and still single, because now she's on the dating market competing with younger women. And do you think that she's going to give younger women like great advice? No, they always hop on the whole men are bad, stay away train. But if they're so bad, then why are you getting married? Like, I at least respect the ones that like hate men and they stay away, but the ones that like put on this image of hating men and then they sell it to younger women to eat it up, you know. Um I feel like yeah, that is a form of mate guarding. Mate guarding. That's what they're doing. That's like the proper term for it, I think. Um, in some cases, I do see this to be true. I feel like they're trying to just put a bunch of rot and things in the younger women's mind, which is their competition. That's just my opinion. I don't know how you feel about that. I don't know if you're agreeing with me, but sometimes I do see that. Yeah. Do you agree though? Do you think that some of them are
Yes.
competing? Oh, okay. I'm not
Oh,
tripping.
yes. No, you're not tripping. Some of these old bitter bloods are just the worst. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Some of them are the worst. And the reason why it's so bad is because, you know, we have these preconceived notions about authority. So we're often told as we're children, oh, you need to respect your elders, people that are older than you, they have authority over you. So it continues even when you get older. So when you see someone that is older, you know, our brain is just wired to think, okay, they are an authority on whatever it is that they're talking about,
They take
even if that's not
advantage.
true. Yes, they take advantage of that.
It's
So
manipulative, yeah.
exactly. Exactly. They know that people are going to, especially younger women, they know that they're going to take the information that they're getting from an older woman and they're going to value it more because they're like, well, you've gone through this, you've had all of these experiences, you must know what you're talking about. And when it's coming from a smiling face, somebody that is putting on, you know, putting on that they want your best interest, then they're able to sneak in a lot of really destructive advice. And it kind of reminds me of this really old song, Smiling Faces, by the Undisputed Truth. I know it's an oldie. I don't know if you've heard that song before.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, it's an oldie. I know somebody in the chat has heard that song, possibly Rome King, possibly Eugene.
Wow.
Smiling Faces. It's the whole song is about basically people will smile in your face whole time. They are plotting on you, so you can't trust a smiling face. And you know, a lot of older women, they will give this advice. It'll seem like it's coming from a genuine place, like they really care. Oh, they care so much. They just want to help the young ladies out. Whole time, whole time, they'll tell you decenter that man. But what
Mm-hmm.
she's doing is she's cooking, she's cleaning, she's giving him poom poom whenever he wants. She's out here doing all the things she's telling you not to do in order to get and keep that man.
Yes, it's a cold world out here. I literally seen a male bashing YouTuber say that they keep their good advice behind closed doors. And I was like, is anyone catching this? So that means you put your bad advice out in the public?
Mhm.
Like, I don't know. I just feel like I'm the only one that sees certain things. I'm like, that's interesting.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. You know, and part of the some of the most destructive advice that I've heard from a lot of older women is to tell younger women to, you know, just spread cat as much as they can while they're
Yeah.
younger. That is the worst advice. Whenever I see an old broad telling younger women, yeah, enjoy your youth.
Oh my
Enjoy your
God.
youth. Go do it because when you get older, da 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 da. And I'm just like, you're really setting them up to put themselves in a position where no good man is going to want them, you know?
Yeah,
It's just,
exactly.
it's completely unfortunate. Thank you so much, 18th letter, for the 499 super. You said you said two of my favorite ladies on YouTube speaking with logic and truth. Thank
Oh,
you so
thanks.
much. Thank you so much for the super. But yeah, you know, a lot of these older women, and not all, but a lot of them are competing, right? Even with, you did a video about this recent, well, I don't know if it was recently. My whole sense of time is just, it's completely out of order. But you did a video about Kai Sinet's girlfriend and her mama,
Oh,
and
yeah.
how she was being like competitive with her daughter. Can you talk to the
Mm-hmm.
people a little bit about that?
Oh, yeah. See, that's what I'm talking about. Like, her mom is single. Dang, that had a lot going on basically. So yeah, basically I did a video about a mom and daughter beefing with each other. It was Kai Cenat's girlfriend and her mom. The mom was just like going neck and neck with her daughter. It was just really disturbing to see. And the way she's going at it with her daughter, you would think this was a girl that like stole her man. It's on my page. Um, she's airing out her business. She's calling her out her name. It was just so disgusting to watch. And then when you take a look at the mother, it kind of makes sense why she views her daughter as competition. The mother is still trying to hold on to being 25. She's on Instagram half naked. She's dressing like she's 25. She's just one of those cringy older ladies that tries her best to like hang on to her youth. The mother is like dating men around her daughter's age. It's dysfunctional. So yeah, we have dysfunctional women in the community that younger ladies need to watch out for. And I'll even like throw myself under the bus. I've been the younger woman kind of taking bad advice here and there from these types of older women. um so yeah, they're basically out there. Wait, what's your thoughts on it?
Well, you said something that makes me very curious. What advice did they give you that was bad? If you feel like sharing. If you don't feel like sharing, I'm not gonna put you on the spot.
No, I'm trying to really reflect because that was like so long ago. Hold on.
Oh, I
Just
feel
like I'm
you.
thinking of like, I don't even think it was like one specific advice. I think it was just the agenda in general. Yeah, I can't answer that right now, but it's like in general, the propaganda they try to push. It's hard to avoid it when you're a younger lady.
Yeah, and I mean that goes back to what I was saying earlier about that appeal to authority. Because
Hmm.
they're older, when you're a younger woman, you kind of look up to them, even if they're undeserving of it, just because they're old. That's why I'm gonna be
Yeah.
honest with y'all. I do not live by that idea of just because someone's old, they deserve your respect. I don't live by that. Okay. If
Me
you're if
neither.
you're wanting me to respect you, you need to earn it and maintain it. Just like I need to earn it and maintain it. I don't care how old you get. Okay. I'm not one of those people, um, you take anybody that you don't like that's older than you, that you don't like for a good reason. Are you going to say that you're going to just respect that person even if they're some of the most disrespectful people out there? No. I might not. I'm just going to avoid interacting with you altogether because I try not to pop off at the mouth at people. I'm a recovering pop off at the mouth girly. So,
Are you
I
really?
just try to, oh, yeah. Girl, it was bad.
Same,
it,
same.
was bad. Oh my God. I'm so glad I'm delivered. Okay. Because
Wow.
it used to be bad. I was what they call a spitfire. If you think I'm unhinged now, how I was back then, man. It
That's
was
crazy. That's literally the same thing with me.
yeah,
Like,
it'd be like
yeah.
that. But that comes with, getting older and going through experiences and, smoothing out the edges, smoothing out the rough edges. But, you know, I I do think that women who are trying to date younger men, oftentimes that's where you're going to see a lot of this negative advice. Um, and also, not even just the ones that want to compete, but also the ones who want to basically make their bad experiences valid through numbers. So what I mean by that is you'll have women that have failed. Okay, they have failed in the dating market. They maybe had a good man, fumbled him. Maybe they could never get a man to commit to them. Whatever the case may be, and they have failed in the dating market. So now they get old, and they might have given up on it, rather than telling other women like, hey, this is what I did and it was a mistake. This is what I did and it was a mistake. What they'll do is they'll try to give bad advice to other women so that their dating fails, not because they want to compete, but because they want to show that no matter what, oh, you would have failed anyways. So it's not that I was a failure, it's that the dating market, it's that this, that, and the third, something
Hmm.
outside of their choices, outside of themselves, is the reason why they didn't get that family that they wanted. They didn't get that man that they wanted. Have you seen anything like that or heard of anything like that?
Yeah, I think I talk about that all the time on my channel. It's like they don't want to accept their personal failures. So yeah, it's like in order to cope and a dodge accountability, they will try to recruit other women in believing that all men are just like corrupted and broken. Personally, girl, I'm gonna be honest. Like the average woman, from what I've noticed, is just very slow when it comes to picking men. So I take the male haters, I take them with a grain of salt. Okay, they act like the authority source and stuff like that. I don't know. When you look at a woman's dating history, it's just usually nothing but a bunch of guys where when you look at them in 2 seconds, you can see that this is a bad decision. And those are usually the ones that end up becoming extremely bitter towards men. So yeah, I take all that with a grain of salt, to be honest.
You know what that reminds me of? That reminds me of, your video on the T app.
Oh
And how
yeah.
you look at the pictures of these men and you're like, well, duh.
That's what
You look
I'm
like a red flag.
saying. I'm trying, you know what? I'm gonna stop. I've been trying to be nice. You know, I don't want to sound cocky like I'm better, but it's just really hard. Like, y'all don't make good decisions as men. I'm sorry. You just don't.
Facts. That's absolute facts. It's like he has the Pookie outfit. Like he literally is wearing the Pookie Ray Ray outfit, the uniform of a
No,
Pookie Ray
seriously.
Ray. What you mean you didn't know? What you mean you're
Yes.
surprised?
They
Like,
play
girl.
so dumb. Like they always act shocked. Like, oh, he switched up. He was a narcissist. You could have figured this out within looking at him in 2 seconds. So I can't take a lot of women seriously.
It's even worse when you think about like the baby daddies. Like he has 3 other baby mamas. You think he's just gonna miraculously figure it out with you? Like girl.
Girl, they stay saying I think I'm better, and it's like sometimes I do. Like, I mean, you guys, I don't know.
No, I feel you. So shout out to Swan Daily for the $2 super. You said women want to keep the girls in the matrix. That's facts. That's absolute facts. And you even see this type of older woman, corrupting the younger woman dynamic. You even see this with like mothers and daughters, like you've talked about with what was, I don't know these people's names. Kai Sinet's
Oh
girlfriend
yeah,
and mom,
yeah.
and her mom. And I just think that that is some of the most twisted, you know, types of female relationships literally possible, where you will have like a mom who, one, feels like she's in competition with her underage daughter for the men that she's bringing in and out the house. And then
Mm-hmm.
also some that maybe they are married, but they look at their daughter and they see like the youth and the possibility. And because they see that and they feel some type of way about their life, then they will push their daughter or give bad advice or mistreat their daughter into basically trying to ruin her life before it even starts. It's absolutely insane to me. And I think that a lot of these um negative things that we've been talking about, a lot of it gets hidden under the idea of sisterhood. Okay, and sisterhood even goes with the mother and the daughter. They still combine that under like a sisterhood type of thing. A lot of that negativity is hidden because they keep saying, oh, it's a sisterhood, oh, I got my sister's back. Whole time there's a bunch of skeletons hiding in that closet. Now,
Mm-hmm.
something I did want to talk about, and I kind of mentioned this a little bit earlier, but I do want to dive a little bit deeper. So, do you think that some women go out of their way to befriend certain women as a form of strategy?
Like strategizing to do what?
Well, it could be for numerous things, right? So it could be strategy for dating. It could be strategy for like career moves. Just plotting a friendship with other women for the purposes of getting something from them.
I don't know if you've been seeing that like Summer Walker thing. Have you seen that?
I
That's
saw
what
like
it's
a
reminding
headline.
me.
They said like Summer Walker and I don't know these little rappers' names. I don't know any of these little
It's
rappers.
so funny.
Wait, it's not Rich Homie Quan. Didn't he pass away? It's a different.
I don't know who Rich the Kid. His name is Rich the Kid. I don't know who he
Oh,
is
okay.
either. But that's what your question reminds me of. It's like Summer Walker. Okay, I guess Rich the Kid. He had his baby mama that's been holding him down. I don't know. I guess that's his fiance now. Her name is Tori. And Summer Walker, they have photos. She has photos with the lady. Whole time she's trying to be her man's side piece, if that makes sense.
That's
Yeah, like
insane.
it came out, like the audio was leaked. She was like begging to be his side chick. She was like, "Just save me under Pizza Hut. Your girl doesn't have to know."
That's crazy. What to that white dude she just popped out with? That old white man
I know,
that
I'm
she
so
just
confused. I'm like, what's going on? There's a lot going
the
on.
clown show. And yeah, that and you know what's crazy? You telling me that story, that reminds me of this other story. Did you hear about that woman that got sued? Because
Yeah,
she was
Renee.
yes. It reminds me of that too.
Yeah, see,
I just like did you cozy up to the wife? Because these are married folk. They were both married. Did you cozy up to the wife to get to the cut? See, it's so ghetto. I can't even like get the wires the correct crossing. Did you get close to the wife to get close to your husband's cousin? Like,
girl, I was struggling telling Summer Walker's story too. It's a lot. Like it's confusing. It's gymnastics. It's like, wait a minute, this was your friend. You're trying to mess with her man. It's a lot going on.
yeah, but that definitely reminds me of like what I was just talking about. Women getting close and cozying up with other women under this guise of sisterhood in order to get something out of her, get
Their
something from
man.
her. Get her man. In this instance, yeah, get her man. And this is why, like, I don't know if you've heard women say this where they're like, oh, don't post your man. Don't bring your man around your girlfriends. Just don't have you heard women say that before? Give that advice?
Yeah, heck yeah, yeah.
How do you feel
What do you
about
think about
that?
that? Oh,
Oh.
jinx. Oh, okay, wait, hold on. Let me think about that. Okay, here's my stance on this, and hold on. I'm trying to figure out how to say this. I have a very like I'm very multifaceted. I feel like I'm very sweet in person, but I also have this touch to me where I have a very scary touch to me. Like I'm not the one. I've always had that touch, and it's like it's always weeded off like bullies in my life growing up because I've always had this, yeah, do not mess with me or I will get unhinged. I've always had this energy about me. So I don't really attract women that be trying to come after my man. Um,
Good.
I feel like those types of women know they know who to target. They know exactly who to target. But wait, what was your question again? I'm sorry.
No. So wait, what was my question? I was just listening in. I love that you said that. You know, you have that energy about you where it's like, girl, don't try it. I love that.
I do. I feel like I have a little sprinkle of, oh, it can get unhinged if you want it to. I have that touch to me. And from what I notice in person, people leave me alone. They don't try that mess with me.
Yeah, I love that for you. You know, to be honest, not that many people try me in person either. That's funny. That's very funny. Even at work, like when I, work different jobs, when people would, when something would happen and I say something about something, like to, speak out about a problem, I never had any issues. It was always like,
That's
oh yeah, we don't want to, let's
me
fix this.
too. It's like when I do need to speak up for myself in person, I notice that it makes everybody get in line when I do stand up
Hey,
for myself. I don't
I love that.
know.
But okay, so I remembered. That's why I was saying that, because I was trying to remember, keep the stream of thought going. So, have you heard any women ever say like, "Oh, don't post your man," um, you know, don't talk about your man, don't bring anyone around your man because women will just try to, take him from you. Have you ever experienced like women saying that or that school of thought?
Yeah, I feel like that way of thinking nowadays, that's a very like black woman thing. Because I feel like these little white girls and everybody else, they post their man. I don't really have much thoughts on it. That's why I'm curious to hear your thoughts on that. Like, what's your thoughts?
Yeah. So before I get into that, Rome King, he says Sandra crashed out at Family Dollar. I know she built different.
You did? What happened?
Oh my God, girl. This is one of the few times, and this was an older woman. It's usually the older black women that do try me. It was my daughter's first birthday, okay, and I was setting everything up, and I just needed to get a few things like the balloons and like the cake topper. So I just went to the Dollar Tree to go ahead and like get like the balloons, the big balloons, and all that stuff. So I don't go into Dollar Tree that often. So I don't know the rules and the regulations. So I just go down the aisle and I see that they got balloons in the aisle, like in the little packets. So I grab a few. I grab the cake topper. I walk up to the front and, I'm asking them about blowing up these balloons for me. And the guy tells me, "Oh, yeah, we can't blow up those balloons, da 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 da." And I was like, "Oh, okay. I mean, that's kind of odd. It's kind of stupid, in my opinion, but okay, that's fine." I didn't say that part about it being stupid. I was just like, "Oh, okay, that's fine." So I look over and I'm like, "Okay, well, you guys have the numbers and, like the number balloons and all this stuff. I see that. Can I get one of those?" And, I'm asking different questions. And the manager comes over, and I don't remember why she started talking to me or started intervening, but I was trying to ask questions and she got annoyed with the fact that I was asking questions. And it almost gave this like, "Well, you should know," but I'm like, "Bitch, I don't work here. How the hell am I supposed to know? All I know is I need some damn balloons. Are you going to give me my balloons or not?" So she starts catching an attitude with me, doing like that real slick, nice, nasty stuff. And I pick up on that real quick. And I'm already on edge because I'm on the clock. I need to get these balloons. I need to take care of things because
Yeah.
I got to set up for a party. And so she starts having this slick at the mouth attitude with me while I'm asking these questions. And I had to check her. I was like, "Excuse me, I don't understand. I don't know the rules and regulations of Dollar Tree. I don't work here. You do. So I'm just asking questions to understand." And so she was getting real slick at the mouth with me, and I was just like, not today, honey." I said, "You know what? I don't need any of this." I said, "You know what? You can put this stuff back on the shelf. I'm gonna go somewhere else." And I felt so bad for the cashier because he was perfectly fine. He had no issues, no attitude. Obviously, a man had no issues answering my questions. And look, I'm a polite person. I am overly polite. That's my thing. I got too many whoopings as a child. So in the back of my mind, whenever I'm interacting with folks, I'm just very polite. I'm very aware of my politeness. And I was trying so hard to hold it back, but after she caught that attitude with me one too many times, I was like, nope, death con. The foot is going down. And yeah, I did crash out. I'm not gonna lie. I probably did say a few cuss words before I walked out
Oh,
that door.
really? I'm like, that doesn't sound like a crash out, but I was curious because I'm like, girl, oh my God, just know you're not alone. You're not alone. Like, I don't know, like us. Hmm. Well, that's really interesting.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's just one of, I've been crashing out since I was a kid, so I got stories for days about me, and I've toned it down a lot. Okay, like I said, I'm delivered. Okay, every now and again, I might not be delivered, but for the most part, I am delivered from my ways. Uh,
Well,
let's
those
see.
girls in Dollar Tree, they do have bad attitudes. This is why, as of recently, I've just realized there's such a drastic difference from when I go to kind of like more cheaper places and restaurants versus more like expensive. I just can't with the cheaper places. Like the service is just too much. Like, I don't know. But anyways,
No, you're absolutely right. I never get treated like that at Target. Okay,
that's what
when
I'm
I
saying. I
they
can't do it.
they double wrap my things and they answer all my questions. um, but I do want to kind of talk about the feminist aspect of the sisterhood. So, how do you think this modern feminism? How do you think that affects you know how women behave within this sisterhood? Like what connection do you see, or if any, between modern feminism and this sisterhood that we got going on?
Oh, yeah, that's a really interesting question. I think basically that question kind of reminds me of everything we've been talking about. Like, when I think of, I think originally feminism was sort of helpful, I guess. But the modern version, it's just became, I don't even want to say this, but it's like almost like at this point, kind of, what is the point? Like, it's basically again like the modern version of feminism is just being a misandrist. I just recently kind of learned that word. I don't really use those buzzwords, but
Yeah. Yeah, they say misogynist so much, but no one ever really brings up misandry. Um,
yeah.
but I hate saying that word because it's so similar to my name, Sandra, misandrist. It's
Oh, really?
I hate that word, but it's true. It's absolutely true. You know, I think this whole feminism, later waves of feminism, it really does create this antagonistic relationship with our counterparts, our men.
Yeah.
And oh, this was another part. This might get a little juicy. I don't know how comfortable you feel talking about this, but I do think that part of the reason why the sisterhood is so toxic is because you got a lot of, and not all, but you got a lot of lesbians that are infiltrating the sisterhood and they have ulterior motives. Am I shooting in the dark here, or do you see that too?
Oh, me? Yeah. Yeah, kind of. Yeah. You can talk about it. Or do you want me to talk about it?
I mean, if you have anything to bring to that, it reminds me of that situation with what's that woman who's a doctor, but she's not really a doctor because she doesn't have a license. Cheyenne, is it Cheyenne Bryant?
Yeah. Cheyenne.
Didn't allegedly they're saying she's a lesbian, but she's been going out there talking very heavily about heterosexual relationships, and a lot of it kind of leans towards man bashing, misandry, and people are wondering like, hey, are you doing all of this because you're a lesbian and you're trying to recruit, or what's going, allegedly a lesbian. You know, have you seen any of that? I definitely want to hear your thoughts on that if you feel comfortable.
That's a I feel like my man more so, he always talks about how these ladies he thinks they're lesbians. He definitely does think that most of them that like really do not like men are lesbians. And he even warned me on YouTube about like, certain people. And I don't know. I'm not in the LGBT community, so it's just not something that I pay attention to. But I'm trying to think if I want to talk about this. Like,
If you're not comfortable, I don't want to
I
pressure you
did,
into.
I had an interaction with a person that hated men, and when things went left, they ended up being very obsessed with me and in a lesbian way. So I don't know, the hating man to lesbian propaganda, not propaganda, but what's the word I'm looking for? Oh my god,
You mean like
pipeline. Yeah,
pipeline?
pipeline. It's a thin line. It's a thin line. It really is. That's what I've noticed from my experience. Yeah. I think that they are lesbians. Because it's like, what if you hate men so much, what's your solution? Like, what's the next route? Like, yeah, sometimes men can be frustrating, but there's a lot of women that won't just straight up start hating them because you still are interested in dating them. So I feel like the ones that like make hating them their personalities, I think that they are trying to become lesbians. That's their next alternative.
That's the next step in their transformation.
I think
Um,
so.
yeah, it reminds me of this one TikTok I reacted to where it was like this one woman, she was talking about, yeah, you need to decenter men. You need to go on romantic dates with your friends. I was
See,
like, hold up. I was looking up the definition. What is the definition of romantic? Okay. What is romantic? I'm just like,
it's that thin line.
yeah, and I saw them in the chat. They mentioned Princella. I think what's her Princella the Queen Maker or King Maker. I don't know. I don't know all these people. I'm gonna be honest. Some of these people, I think I've seen them from time to time, but Eugene mentioned Princella. Have you heard of that person?
Me, oh, I was thinking about her the whole time, but I didn't want to
Oh,
like, be messy and name drop.
oh. Yeah,
You
so
know.
but I mean I looked at her and kind of figured she was in that lifestyle, which I don't have any issues with lesbians, right? Whenever I make that statement in my videos, I'm like, this is giving lesbian behavior, like just go be a lesbian. I'll get some people underneath my comments who are like, oh my god, you're homophobic, this, that, and the third. I'm like, I'm literally telling you to go live your truth. I'm telling you, I would
It's,
prefer if you just got out of that closet. I personally, I don't have issues with people being homosexual. If that's your choice, that's your choice. But don't intervene or interject into heterosexual relationships and heterosexual business to create chaos, because we already have, this gender war going on. The last thing we need is people who have no skin in the game, talking that trash and trying
mhm.
to get other people, because I feel like the men have this too. For instance, you have the Myron Gaines where they'll tell you that, and this might be okay, if you got kids, cover their ears. I'm gonna censor it as much as I can. Where he said that eating the cat is gay.
Oh my girl, I was gonna do a video on him because he was saying stuff like, "Oh, men shouldn't live with women." I'm like, "Who hurt you?" He's so hurt, like he's so bitter. And these be the same men. Soon as you find a good woman, you're doing all of that. Like it's so easy for these people to be like, "Oh, don't do this, don't do that." You're single. You're chronically single. Of course, you're saying that. But as soon as somebody comes into your life that you like, now you're doing all of that. Like,
Exactly.
please. I
and
can't.
And not only that, I don't know if you've seen those pictures of him. If you're doing a deep dive, you have to have seen those pictures of him laid up in the bed with other men, holding on to other men. There were
See?
pictures of him laying in the bed with other men. They're holding him, and then there's pictures of him like at some kind of concert or something. I don't know, it's some kind of outside venue where this other guy is like, it almost looks like he's whispering sweet nothings in his ear. And I'm just like, dude, just if you're gay, just say that. Why are you trying to tell men that, for instance, in y'all already know I got my issues with Abba and Preach, but he had said, oh, he had looked at a video of Preach dancing with a woman and said, oh, that's gay. How?
Girl, I'm gonna be honest. I even see this with the men. It's a thin line with men that hate everything about women, or even men that are like aggressive towards women. Like I know that a lot of men that, put hands on women, a lot of those men are, gay. Like it's a thin line. Why do you hate the opposite gender so much? Like it's to the point where you're not even attracted to them anymore. So I'm not surprised by any of this. Yeah, a lot of those people are gay.
Yeah. And it's unfortunate. I'm like, right now is the best time for you to come out.
I know,
Like,
right? It's
it's
not back in the
literally
day.
it's literally the golden age for the LGB. Maybe not the T, but the LGB and Q. This is like the golden age for y'all to be out that closet and living your best life. So, I don't have an issue with people being gay. I have an issue when people who have no skin in the game are, throwing wrenches in and trying to derail conversations between heterosexual people who want to get together and have meaningful relationships. um, Thank you so much, Swan Daily, for the $2 super. You said people just want the bag at the expense of others. Ooh. Now that's another aspect to get into. So have you seen instances where women they'll tote around this sisterhood concept just so they can get the bag, just so that they can get the views and the money and the ad rev and all that stuff?
Yeah, I feel like every last one of them, they do that. That's why they do it. So that's a great point that he brought up. That's
Yeah,
like the
yeah.
root of the motivation is money.
Yeah, so even if they know that advice is horse shit, they will still they will still get out here and tell their audience or trauma bond with their audience, in order to keep them watching, keep them viewing. It kind of reminds me of, because we see these behaviors in different aspects of life, not just with dating, but even within like conversations about colorism. It's the same thing. You'll have people that they will continue to say these things that are inherently negative to their community, that are keeping them victim minded or keeping them, feeling some type of way about themselves, all for the purpose of, I know they're going to watch the next video because they're dealing with trauma, and my video is giving them some kind of, you know, um, what do they call it? Some kind of camaraderie, or I don't know. Just it's almost like trauma bonding via, influencer and the influenced.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
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 So, I find this whole idea of a sisterhood right now in its current state to be extremely toxic. But I do want to talk about, like, what would an ideal, if we were to change this whole sisterhood thing, right? um what would that actually look like to be a healthy sisterhood, in your opinion, if you were able to, change it?
Basically, yeah, just to summarize like some of the talking points that we like kind of discussed, I feel like a healthy sisterhood would be um like, okay, if you look at like the dating sector amongst women, there is no honesty in that sector. Like, um it's just selling every woman like a fairy tale and fantasy, or just telling them whatever they want to hear, telling them to be selfish, and I don't know. But anyways, I think that an ideal sisterhood probably would look like accountability, being truthful amongst each other. Um, yes, like promoting, like self-care while also talking about things that are part of most women's lives, like not demonizing certain tasks like cooking and cleaning and taking care of kids. They need to intertwine all of that, because in today's conversation, they literally demonize, like nowadays, I don't know if you've seen this whole hatred towards kids in the sisterhood. Like they demonize normal parts of every woman's lives. Okay, it's just unrealistic. The whole concept nowadays is unrealistic. We need to make it more realistic. Like women are still going to date men. So, you know, I just feel like the sisterhood is just very unrealistic.
Yeah, I've definitely seen that where you're talking about like the hatred of children. That is extremely disturbing to me. I
And
just,
motherhood. I'm sorry.
yeah, it's just it's so weird. It's
Yeah.
extremely weird to me.
It's weird.
And it's one thing to be like, okay, I don't want to have kids because I can't afford to have kids and I don't want to bring them into the world and not be able to give them the things that they want. That's
Mhm.
one thing. I understand that. I understand women that are saying that they don't want to have a kid unless they are in a fully committed relationship, right? They are 100% in the committed relationship, married legally, all these different things. I can understand that. What I can't understand is, women looking at other women who have kids and making it seem like there's something wrong with them for having kids. I think you kind of talked about this in your video about Nara Smith, because is she pregnant again?
Yeah. Yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about. Like, and they're all telling, yeah, they were telling her, you need to be in the club. You don't need to be having kids. And it's like, oh my goodness. Women have kids. That's why we exist. Like, come on. Like, it's just too
Yeah.
much. It's too radical, the sisterhood.
Exactly, exactly. And, it's like I said, it's one thing if you personally just don't want to have kids, but, outwardly just saying, like, F all kids, why are you? And even going so far as to get in someone's comment section and chastise them for being pregnant, something that they want. I'm guessing Nara
Hmm.
Smith wants her baby. This
Yeah.
wasn't just a surprise, they wanted that baby. And to feel so bold as to tell another woman or what you should be doing or what you shouldn't be having another kid, and just like, well, what if that's what she wants? What if that's what she genuinely wants? She wants more babies. What's wrong with that? um
See?
yeah, but I think the reason why those type of women will go into her comment section and say something like that is because that's not their reality. They don't have a wealthy man wifing them up and giving them the soft life and wanting to procreate with them and give them a bunch of babies and all the other stuff. They don't have that. So
Hmm.
rather than just dealing with their own feelings of their own insecurities or their feelings of being inferior, their inferiority complex, rather than dealing with that emotion, instead, they'll try to act like that's something that they just would never want. Oh, I would never want that. You shouldn't want that either. And so that's where I think tearing women down, that's where that's actually happening.
Hmm.
Not the women who are saying, oh, well, you need to get your life together, and if you have extra weight on you, get that under control, dress tasteful, or just women telling each other critique in that way. That's not tearing women down, but rather, or even just going and critiquing, ideology that is unhealthy. That's not tearing women down. But these same women that are, or these different women that are in these comment sections of people like Nara Smith, chastising her for having the family that she wants. I think that that's where the real tearing other women down is happening.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what we don't talk about.
Yeah. So shout out to Eugene Steele. Thank you so much for the $5 super. You said I nicknamed the woman content creators I listen to the Sisterhood of Femininity and Truth. Okay. Hey, shout out to the Sisterhood of Femininity and Truth. Thank you so much. And then Swan Daily, thank you for the $2 super. You said F the club. That ish is destroying people's lives. Speak on it. Speak on it. You know, it's one thing to like go to the club and have a good time. It's another thing to live in the club and you're not even
Hmm.
getting paid. You're
Oh
not
my
even getting paid to
God.
live there.
Yes.
Man. But just I guess to kind of wrap this thing up, um, I think for there to be a healthy sisterhood, I agree with you. There has to be honesty there. If you don't have honesty, you don't have anything. The moment women start holding each other accountable, being the eyes and ears for other women for different things that, you know, they might not be aware of, like, hey, for instance, like even with dressing, not every woman knows how to dress. I kind of fall into that camp. I'm learning. Okay. I've been doing my little searches and watching my YouTube channels to find out. And there are some things that we just don't know, we're not aware of. But being able to give, healthy critique and give advice on how to do different things, we can really kind of scratch each other's back in that sense and help each other get what we want. And this is where feminism was supposed to go, with choice, right? If you want to be a mother and stay at home, that is your choice and we support you. If you want to be that boss chick and you don't really care to have a family but you want to have a strong career, then we support you in doing that, but not chastising each other. Well, why would you want to lay up and have a bunch of kids? Like, why would you want to have a career? A real sisterhood, in my opinion, would be, is this truly what you want? Okay, then I support you in going and getting that. But then also having those honest conversations about, okay, well, if you want that, well, what happens if later on you change your mind? Have you considered that? Like having those honest conversations, that's where we can get to a sisterhood that is healthy. But I think because of that competition aspect of it, in regard to, finding a man, getting a mate, I think that that's going to be extremely difficult because people in general are just going to always look at other people as competition, and I don't see that ending anytime soon. So I think the sisterhood concept is cooked. What do you think? You think it's cooked, or you think there's hope?
That's a good question. Honestly, I don't think that there's a hope. No, I think society keeps heading in a bad direction from my point of view. I'm just being honest.
No, I feel you. I feel you. It's going to hell in a handbasket. Isn't that that's one of the phrases? Um, yeah, I personally, I just see things either getting worse or staying just as bad as they are.
Yeah.
Um, People are too proud to admit that they're wrong. And then, like I said, that competition aspect of it, that's not going away. And if anything, it's going to get tougher. It's going to get harder. So, before we go ahead and call it, do you have any final thoughts on this whole sisterhood conversation?
Hmm. Not really. I feel like we touched so much of it.
Yeah, we got into the nitty gritty of the topic. We really got into it.
Mhm.
All right, Shaw. I really do appreciate you guys coming in and hanging out with us. This is the lovely Blunt Girly. I have her pinned in the top comment, and then I also shared in the chat. Go ahead and subscribe to her channel. Her videos are good. Okay, they are very good. I'm gonna tell y'all how I like to watch my Blunt Girly. Okay, I put my headphones on, I press play, and then I go wash some dishes. I tidy
Really?
up while I'm sitting there listening. And then if you say something and I'm like, oh my God, I need a comment, then I take a little break. I go write my little comment and then I get back to doing my stuff. So, definitely go ahead and check out Blunt Girly's channel. Subscribe to her channel. She has memberships too. Lots of membership content if you want some real tea. Okay, some real tea. Definitely go check out Miss Blunt Girly's channel. Was there any for the people that might be coming in a little bit later? Just tell them what they can expect at your side of YouTube on your channel.
Oh yeah, thank you so much. I love the compliments.
I gotta give you your flowers.
When I'm watching your live streams, I'm always either washing the dishes or shopping or cooking. Um, but Yeah, basically on my channel, I would say I low key am a perfectionist and I try to help women be their best selves on my channel, mixed with a little bit of like just random conversations, like again, like celebrity gossip here and there, little think pieces here and there. That's kind of how my channel is. I feel like if you like Sandra's channel, you'll probably like my channel. So, yeah, I think that's a great explanation.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. There will be some videos where like I'll do a video and I'll be like, dang, I really want Blood Girly to do a video on this. And I know you've said that to me before too, where it's like I want to hear your perspective on a lot of different topics. So shout out to you. Thank you so much for all the different content that you put out there. I truly do appreciate it, especially because it gets boring washing them dishes. I'm not gonna lie. If I don't have a
That's
good
funny.
video to listen to, it gets boring. So I love being able to just kind of put on one of your videos and just kiki while I'm washing my dishes.
Aww.
Um, so shout out to you. And again, you guys, I have her channel pinned in the top comment, and then also I have her in the chat. Let me post it one more time. Go subscribe to Blunt Girly's channel and show her some love. All right, y'all, we're gonna go ahead and get up out of here. Thank you guys so much for rocking with us. It's been a really good stream, and I will see y'all next time. I don't know why I did
Aww.
this. This was so like, what was that? I don't know
No,
what
that's
that was.
cute.
All right, y'all. Deuces.
Bye.